Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do a very quick recap of what I read the second half of the month. There isn't much to talk about. There isn't a whole lot. And what I did read was series. So I really can't talk about it. The second half of August did not go as well as the first half. So my 5-star birthday month was a bit of a dud in the end. It's fine though. I'm very excited to get into the Harry Potter readathon, or the Back to Hogwarts readathon. I don't know why I keep calling it Harry Potter readathon. Whatever. Anyway, let's just get into this. So, I read a trilogy by Amanda Lease, the World War II Resistance trilogy. We have The Silence Before Dawn, 4 stars. Paris at First Light, 4 stars. And The Midwife's Child, 5 stars. I had initially started reading The Midwife's Child before knowing that it was a trilogy. And Goodreads says you can read them just as standalones, but I disagree. You cannot. I'm glad I went back, even though I kind of didn't want to, because I was in the middle of book 3. Or, like, not in the middle, like, right at the beginning, kind of. But, like, it starts off with a bang, book 3. So I was kind of into it. But I'm really glad that I went back, because you get to know the characters more. And you root for them more. So, yeah. But basically, the series is about a bunch of, like, spies, essentially. World War II, like, spies, resistance people, and they really go deep underground. Some of them are, like, pretending to be, like, in love with Nazis to get information. It's a whole thing. So it is definitely not clean fiction, and there are some bedroom scenes. There are romances in each, there is, like, a romance in each one. So, you know, you have espionage and you have romance. So I enjoyed it. But yeah, that's that one. And then I read The Whispered Word, Secret Book and Scone Society Book 2 by Ellery Adams. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. It was kind of a break in between the espionage. Can't really talk much about it. A girl comes into town under mysterious circumstances, and someone is murdered, and she could be who did it, but nobody wants to believe it because she's so sweet and innocent. I will say, though, that book 2 does not have as much bedroom stuff, or you know what I mean, like sex scenes. Book 1, Amanda from Book Lover Amanda read book 1 and was kind of freaked out by this scene where one of the characters seduces someone into giving them information. That does not happen in this book. There is much less of that. So, yeah. I'd call this one pretty tame. So, I don't know. I'll let you know how I feel the rest of the series. Maybe you can go back to it. I don't know. But I loved it. I don't really mind too much as long as it's not like the entire story. I enjoy the series. Then, downhill from here. Well, 1 book. Pete and Alice in Maine by Caitlin Shetterly. 2 stars. And I only gave this 2 stars because I was compelled enough to finish it. But I hated this book with the fire of 1,000 suns. I've heard about this. I heard this expression in a podcast I listened to. They talk about TV shows and they say, I hate this person with the fire of 1,000 suns. You know, when they talk about reality TV. Anyway, I hate this book with the power of 1,000 suns. Whatever. It's about Pete and Alice, this couple. They're kind of on the rocks. Their marriage is terrible. And right in the middle of their drama, pandemic happens, and they're living in New York. So they move to their house, their summer home in Maine, to shelter in place. You know, there's apparently less COVID there, or no COVID at the beginning. And they're instantly unwelcome because the neighbors know they came from New York, so they, like, try to, like, slice their tires and put trees in front of their doors so they're trapped in their homes and can't go get groceries. Like, people are crazy. But forget that part of it. Like, I hated this book because the family was terrible. The husband's a cheater, and the wife is understandably mad. But honestly, the ones that I hated the most were the children. And I love naughty children, especially when I think they have a reason to be naughty. But these kids were over the top monsters. Like, I don't believe in corporal punishment, but these kids need it 2-3 times a day. Like, especially the older one. I don't know how many times I heard her call her parents idiots in this book. Even when she's in a good mood. Like, there's a scene where they're all happy, and she's like, you guys are idiots! Like, it's her favorite word. And she also likes to spit it at them when she's mad. And there's also just too many mentions of puberty and, like, bodily fluids. Like, the little one likes to make fun of the older one by saying she has fur. And the older one gets, like, really angry about it. And just, I don't know. It was just infuriating. I was more mad at the way they were handling the kids than I was mad at the affair. Because they're fighting right in front of them, the parents. And the kids are telling them, we know you're fighting. And they're like, no, sweetie, you're safe. No one's fighting. Like, over and over. And it's like, can you just tell the truth and say you hate each other's guts and you want a divorce just to put these kids out of their misery? Like, at this point, the way they're gaslighting them, you might as well just be honest and, like, spew out the hateful words, because you're just making it worse by leaving them in limbo and not deciding something one way or the other. Like, as much as I think those kids are monsters, I can't really blame them either, kind of. They're just hard to tolerate because they're beyond mean, especially Sophie, the older one. Like, they're all terrible people, and the way this book ended, honestly, by this description, you're not going to read it, I assume, and there's so many swear words in this that my Christian fiction subscribers would not be interested. But yeah, I hated this book. 2 stars. Last 2 books. Helpless by Kathy Glass. This is the very last of her fostering memoirs. I am so sad. But yeah, she is helping out this family. She's no longer a foster parent. Now she is like a support worker or support person who helps out families. Basically try to keep their kids out of foster care. So she helps them, like, get the kids ready for school and give them parenting tips and stuff like that. And yeah, so that was one of her cases. And the storyline was, will the kids go into foster care? Will they not? I can see why she's not going to write any more books. There's not a whole lot you can write about when it comes to that situation. So yeah. And the last one I read was The Amish Widow's Secret by Cheryl Williford. I finally read this. I finally gave up waiting for an audiobook to magically appear, and I read it in Braille. It was on Bookshare. I first heard about this series from Sarah at the Bookish Knitter. I'll tag her. And I loved it. This is a totally different kind of Amish book. They're in Florida, Pinecraft, Florida, and like they use electricity. They use phones. Not for fun, like they're not texting or anything, but they use them for business. I think their form of Amish living is much more practical. So, yeah. They also travel around in golf carts, which is amazing. Now I'm reading the second one, which is the Amish Midwife's Courtship, but that's going to go into September books. So, yeah, I gave it 4 stars. And that is all I read second half of August. I am going to... Why do I have the hiccups? Not a good time. I am going to post my what I added to Goodreads in the second half of August. I bought myself a lot of books for my birthday because no one's buying me books. Although I did get 2 credits from my friend Karen for Libro FM. But yeah, I treat myself to books on my birthday month. So I'll tell you what I bought. Anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.
Speech off. Stop recording.